Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So I made a video a few weeks ago covering the season 5 finale of Miraculous Ladybug, and it did better than I could have ever imagined. Like, it got so many views and got me a bunch of new subscribers. Like, wow, that's amazing. I am shocked and thankful and glad that y'all really enjoyed that video. So, obviously, I just have to make a video discussing the movie now that the English dub has come out. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and subscribe for more videos from me. So, this is my first time making a video covering a movie, so let's see how this goes and first give a brief summary of the plot before moving on to what I liked and disliked. If you've already seen the movie and want to skip the summary, jump to this part in the video. So, the Miraculous Ladybug movie is basically an origin movie, hitting the reset button and going back to the very beginning when Marinette and Adrian first get their superpowers. We spend about the first 15 minutes getting introduced to everyone and their situations, such as like Marinette being the least popular kid at school with self confidence issues, and Adrian being even more isolated and lonely than he is in the show, etc. Soon, Gabriel uses the Butterfly Miraculous for the first time to bring chaos to the world by turning someone into a rampaging gargoyle statue, at which time Master Fu releases the Ladybug and Black Cat Miraculouses from the Miracle Box, and the two magic jewels race out into the night to find their new holders. Marinette is very against the idea of becoming a hero because she feels she's not up to it and will just, get in the way and make things worse. While Adrian immediately jumps on board and acts like he's all that now that he has powers. Very cocky, very arrogant. Interestingly, the two bump heads on their first mission against Gabe's gargoyle monster and refuse to work together, which makes their job a lot more difficult than it should be. But they do eventually stop the Akuma. Afterwards, they're visited by Fu, who basically tells them to get over themselves and learn to work together to stop Hawkmoth because the Kwamis chose them for a reason. Now that Gabe has an idea of how to work the butterfly, he starts planning his next akumatization and breaks two criminal mimes out of prison to be his next minions. Back in normal life, Marinette, Alia, Adrian, and Nino all go to the fair that just came to town to hang out as friends and, be a hopeful double date. Hawkmoth's akumatized mimes, one with an electric whip that can levitate things, and one with the power to mime weapons of war, start terrorizing the fair and chaos breaks out. While Kitty Boy is ready for action, Bug Girl struggles to decide whether she wants to be a hero again or not, but eventually comes around and the two fight the Akumas. This time, Ladybug and Cat Noir work together to defeat the villains and figure out that their powers become even stronger when they help each other instead of fight each other. Following this, we get a montage of the two becoming famous heroes, fighting many more of Hawkmoth's minions, and how becoming heroes is affecting their personal lives, such as becoming more confident and standing up for themselves against bullies and stuff. We then get to see how close Ladybug and Cat Noir have become over the weeks or months, fighting Hawkmoth's villains and such, and that they are becoming really good friends, and Catboy wants to be even more. He asks her out, she turns him down, saying there's someone else, not knowing it's her crush behind the mask. Then, in normal life, Marinette tries to ask Adrian to be her date to an upcoming school dance, but he turns her down, saying there's someone else, also not knowing it's his crush without the mask. And these rejections put both of them into a funk as both heroes and just normal people. We soon see that the continued use of the Butterfly Miraculous for evil is sucking the life out of Gabriel and making him look like crap. Kinda like how in Star Wars it said that the dark side takes a physical toll on a person's appearance the more they use it and the harder they use it, stuff like that. In total desperation to get the Miraculous to revive his dead wife, and with time running out for his own health, Gabriel decides to akumatize himself and spread ultimate terror among Paris. It looks like the freaking apocalypse has come. Tornadoes of evil butterflies are everywhere, buildings are getting demolished, the river is turned into lava at one point. It's a whole thing. Ladybug and Cat Noir show up, but are out of their usual groove, like I said, so they aren't working together as well as before, and Hawkmoth easily slaps them both. Hawkmoth then manages to get Ladybug's earrings and de-transform her, but Cat still has a few claws left, and a father and son showdown begins. Hawkmoth wins and rips off Cat's mask, ready to end it once and for all, but is shocked to learn that it's his son behind the mask and immediately stops all the apocalyptic stuff and de-transforms. Adrian is shocked to learn the villain was his dad all along, but the two come to reconcile, and Gabe is, presumably, arrested for all of his crimes. Ladybug gives the butterfly brooch back to Fu, gives a motivational speech to the people of Paris, and uses her powers to fix all the damage Hawkmoth caused. Finally, we get the night of the school dance where it's lovely and everyone is going to have fun, etc. Adrian is nowhere to be seen, so Marinette goes looking for him and ends up finding him alone, off on his own, missing his mom and wondering what comes next for him. She tells him that she knows he's Cat Noir and reveals that she's Ladybug, at which point the two are very happy and share a kiss, and that's where the movie officially ends. But the final scene right before the credits roll shows Natalie entering the secret room in the Agrest mansion after being trusted by Gabe with this information and discovering the body of the late Emily Agrest, hinting that Myra is probably going to be the villain of the next movie. And that's where it officially ends. So, overall, I really liked it. Yes, it's cheesy and doesn't do anything new or break any boundaries, but I don't care. It was cute, it was fun, all the songs were great. I liked the changes to the characters and settings. It was really just enjoyable and fun. Like, I don't know what else to say. And honestly, I think if you wanted to introduce new people to Miraculous but don't want to have them slog through all the filler of the main show, you can just show them this movie and that's that. And, this movie actually gives a satisfying ending to the Gabriel story also. So that's a plus. All right, let's get into the pros of this list. Let's just say it, it's better than the show, and actually realize the potential of the show concept mostly. We'll get into what I mean by mostly in a little bit, but for now, let's keep being positive. Oh my god, the reveals finally happened for real this time. I find it so funny that in 8 years, 5 seasons, and 1 arc completed, the reveals still never happened in the show. And one of them can never happen now. Cause, apparently, in the show's logic, it would, trigger the end of the world and end of the show or whatever. While this movie did all the reveals in 2 hours and still said, alright, let's keep the plot moving. That is so iconic and just solidifies my opinion that Thomas Astruct needs to get kicked out of the writer's room. Because, look at the greatness we get when he's not involved. Sorry, not to be shady. Actually, yes, I'm being shady, but still. And the reveals were satisfying. Gabe is shocked his son is a hero and immediately stops his evil plot because it finally dawns on him that he's tearing his family apart even more instead of fixing it like he wanted. Adrian is shocked his dad is a criminal, but also knows why he started all this to begin with and tries to reconcile those two parts. And they share a very nice moment together. I do think that moment wasn't as emotional as it could have been, but we'll get to that later. As for the hero reveals, I thought it was very cute and done nicely. I always thought the reveals between Marinette and Adrian would have to happen when they're at their lowest point in the final battle against Hawkmoth, but waiting and having them reveal each other's identities afterwards when the day is saved and they can have their own special moment was actually very nice. And I'm very glad that this happened because I've always wondered how their dynamic and relationship would change once the reveals happened, and now we'll get to see that in the next movie, so I'm very excited about that. I like the changes made to the characters. Yes, casting your lead character as the unpopular, klutzy loser of the school is a tired cliche, but it did make for an interesting take on Marinette. And I did enjoy this characterization more than how in the show they tried to have her be the klutzy loser, the quirky average girl, and the popular one who is good at everything. I also liked how Adrian isn't portrayed as the most perfect, lovable angel that has never, can never, and will never do anything even slightly wrong in his entire life. But instead, in the like typical school life parts, like unmasked sections, they just make him like a normal guy, nice, but not really anything special. And I liked how they also leaned into him being a cocky bitch as Cat, because that's always been there in the show, in my opinion. But the show plays his cockiness off as just like being charming and funny. Also, Natalie, I felt like they kind of combined her season 1 characterization with her just being the assistant lady with her season 5 characterization of her caring for Adrian and wanting the best for him and trying to get Gabe to be a better dad. It honestly combined the best of both worlds, for me at least, because in the show, like, you can obviously tell they casted her for one role at the start of the show and then added and changed things about her later down the line to where, like, yeah, she's a better character by season 5, but also it feels very disconjointed and, like, it's just it doesn't really make sense with her characterization in season 1. It just feels out of place. I also liked the way Chloe was treated in this movie. Yeah, her backstory and stuff was cut, but obviously that would be, so you can't really get mad about that. No, I'm talking about how it's nice that she's portrayed as just simply the mean girl of the class for once. We're not trying to make the audience sympathize with her with like a sad backstory, but we're also not trying to make her like the spawn of Satan in like season 5. She's just a bitchy minor antagonist here, and she should be, in my opinion. Like, that's perfect for her. Okay, last thing before we move on to the next point. This is such a minor thing, but I love that in this movie they gave Nino a skateboard. Like, it just fits him so well. I'm sorry, it does. It's such a minor thing, but him just riding around down the hallways on a skateboard just fits him so well. I liked it. I also really loved the music. When I first heard this was going to be a musical, I was kind of scared, to be honest. I figured, like, one or two songs would be nice and the others would just be meh to annoying. But no, I actually really love all the songs in this movie. They were very nice to listen to, and I might actually stream the soundtrack on Spotify coming up. Yeah. I also love that Emily was given a bit more character here than in the show. She's still a plot device at the end of the day, but we actually get to see some minor flashbacks of how she acted to really sell why Gabe is doing all of this. So I thought that was nice. Some other minor things, but I found it so funny how in Gabe's introduction scene in this movie, he's already 10 times the fashion designer than he's ever been in the show. Like, for once, the clothes don't look like shit, and we actually see him working instead of just like scrolling on his big iPad for once. Finally! And last minor thing, I joked about this on Twitter, but I found it so funny when the fair was literally being bombed and Marinette just like started singing to motivate herself. Like, people are screaming, shit is on fire. Meanwhile, she's just like, yeah. I just found that so funny. I'm sorry. Now let's get into the cons. I don't really have many cons, to be honest. I only have like one big one, and the rest are all pretty minor things, so let's get into it. My one big complaint about this movie is that I still think it falls into that trap of treating Marinette as more of the lead character instead of having her be equal to Adrian, since it's both of their names in the title. Now, I do think the movie tries a lot harder than the show to make him as important and as her equal. Like, it tries to do that as much as possible. So that's a really good thing. But what I mean is, conceptually, the plot still focuses on Adrian's family drama, yet most of the normal life scenes still mostly focus on Marinette. Her problems, her journey, her character arc, all that. Yes, we do get some scenes about the broken, aggressed household, but I think especially in the later part of the movie, they feel kinda disconnected emotionally. Like the scene where Gabe looks like a mess and Adrian stands up to him, or even there when their reveals happen and they reconcile. To me, moments like those felt less emotional than they could have been, because it felt like we didn't spend as much time with them in their personal lives beforehand, because we were so focused on Marinette's personal life and her problems. You know? I don't know. I just feel like we could have added like 15 to 20 minutes with more Adrian focused scenes that had nothing to do with Marinette or his crush on Ladybug or whatever, and just like how the family drama is like affecting him and Gabe and their relationship and stuff like that. And I think those big emotional moments towards the end of the film would been a lot more impactful. They would have hit a lot harder, I think. That's really my biggest complaint though. Like I don't really have any other major complaints of the movie. A minor gripe that I had was that fart scene with Pelag. I just hated everything about it. Yeah, some kids laugh at fart jokes, but like, it just felt a little overdone and like kind of gross. But that's just me though. What do I know? The other, like, very minor gripe that I had was I felt like Marinette's singing voice did not match with her talking voice. Yeah, that's because the voice actress is different than the singing actress, but still. Most movies will cast a singer that sounds kinda similar to the regular actor, so the voices match up pretty well. But I don't know, her talking voice and singing voice just sounded so different, and it was pretty jarring. It's not like the biggest thing at the end of the day, and I like both voices on their own, but yeah, just another minor con. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. It was fun, it was beautiful, I liked many of the changes made, and it really did try to use the show's concept to its full potential. It struck a perfect balance between plot and romance so both sides of the fan base can have things to be happy about. And it wrapped things up in a way that we can still, like, mostly be done with Gabe himself while still continuing the general aggressed family plotline. And with the hero reveals truly out of the way now, we can explore the two mains' relationship in new ways that we've never seen before in official media. I'll likely rewatch this again soon, and I'm very excited for the next movie, even more than season 6, honestly. And that's it from me. If you enjoyed this video, then again, please like and subscribe to my channel. I make videos covering books and sometimes TV shows, video games, and now apparently movies. Tell me what you thought of the Miraculous movie and if you are excited for the next one. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.